Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to hang out with me a little bit and watch the video. Always very appreciative of that. Guys, today we're going to be talking about tying the lure, tying your line to your lure, and if you need to use a snap or a split ring or just to tie straight to the lure itself. I think there's a lot of misconceptions with this. I'm going to give you guys my opinion, sort of go over some different lure categories and different options in today's video. Also, guys, a couple quick housekeeping tips. You got Father's Day next week. If you guys are interested in taking advantage of the Solar Bat Father's Day sale, I got my RB2 and RB3 series Solar Bat sunglasses at 25% off through Father's Day. I'll put the Solar Bat link in the description. And also, guys, check out the Tackle Warehouse Summer Kickoff Sale that's going on with Tackle Warehouse now. A lot of great deals on fishing tackle. I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. If you guys could use those links, really good way to help the channel out and much appreciated by me and my family. So thank you very much for that. Okay, guys, I've talked about this. In the on the water lessons that I do, a lot of times I get anglers out there that are in the process of starting out fishing and learning to fishing. And I see a little bit of everything as far as how they tie their lures on. A lot of people use snaps, tie straight to it, split rings. So I want to sort of give you guys my opinion on what is the best scenario and what's the best way to do as far as tying baits to your line, because everything's a little bit different. Now, first of all, I'm gonna say right off the bat, guys, I do not like snaps. Now, this is a chatterbait here. Well, actually, this is a earth shaker here. But anyway, a lot of the chatterbaits come with a snap on it. I just had it on there because that's just one I've got to show it. But guys, I do not like snaps. Now, on a bait like this, you may have to use them because you can't really get a split ring in there. But when you're talking about fishing, crankbaits or jerk baits or anything like this, never, ever, ever use a snap, because the snap will fail. It's like if you look at a snap there's a lot of different weak parts on there as far as, where the wire is curved and how it connects on there. And if you have heavy line, say if you got 20, 25 pound test line, you can easily straighten out a snap. I've done it a lot of different times. I know a lot of people, I've talked about this a little bit in the past, and a lot of people say, oh, Randy, I've never had any problems with it. I use this and that snap. I don't agree with that, guys. I do not like snaps. I think snaps, a lot of people use them because they're convenient and they're easy, and people, they can just unsnap it and tie another lure on it. They don't have to retie. That's not a good reason, because eventually you're going to get into a situation where that snap fails. The metal's going to fatigue on it. It's going to get weakened from being hung up and pulled a little bit, and eventually that snap is going to straighten out. I can promise you. So my advice is never ever use a snap for that situation. Now, the next situation is just the standard split ring that's on all different lures there. Guys, this is what you want to use most all the time. In fact, 99% of the time, you want to attach your lures with a split ring, to the split ring, because the split ring, there's a couple different things with this. It offers and gives the lure a lot of freedom of movement on there to allow it to swing side to side. And in general, any type of a split ring is never going to fail unless you have a real cheapie. I have had some cheap split rings, say for example, where I put them on before, and the eye hanger actually stretched them out a little bit and they weaken. But if you get a good quality split ring, like some of the ones Gamakatsu makes that are high quality steel, you're never going to have a problem with it. Another little piece of advice I'll give you on the split rings here is always try to use the smallest split ring that you can get by and still have your freedom of movement. One of the things you'll notice about some of the lower end lures, some of the lures that don't cost that much money, is a lot of them they have cheap split rings on them. The metal's cheap, or they're oversized, they're too big. So get you a small, high quality split ring. I'll link some in the description of this video, some of the ones I think they're the best. It's worth the investment to get a good quality split ring, because you're never going to have any problems with it at all. But all split rings are not created equal, for sure with that. So you definitely want to tie on there. Now, as far as tying straight to a lure, straight to the eye, you never want to do that, because any lure that you use, if you tie straight to the eye, it's going to kill the action on it. It's like if you're using a jerk bait or a crankbait, tying straight to the eye will reduce the action. You don't have the ability to swing back and forth. Now, if you do want to tie straight to the eye, one thing you can do is use a loop knot I don't like using a loop knot again. I don't think it's the best knot. A loop knot, it creates a loop in your line right there that I think the fish can see sometimes. Yeah, I've been painting in the house. Guys, got some black paint on my hands here. So, you know, I'm not a big fan of a loop knot. The only time I do use a loop knot is with a wake bait, because a wake bait, you know, is designed just to go across the surface like this, and you don't want any weight on the head of the bait because it'll make it nose down. So on a wake bait, I will tie a loop knot on there simply because I want the buoyancy up front. That's the only time I ever tie straight to the lure, is in that scenario there. So anyway, guys, my advice with it is do not tie straight to the lure. Do not use a snap. I don't care how good you think your snaps are. You're eventually going to get burned by it. Get you a high quality split ring. You're going to be much more happy with it. And another thing with that, let me give you one little tidbit here, guys, on the split ring. I'll show you something. When you tie your line to a split ring there, when you tie your line to the split ring, make sure, let's see if I can get one here. Make sure when you cinch your line down to the split ring, I can find one here, get one out. When you tie your line to the split ring on this, make sure that it is not in that area that is separated. Like you can see this one right here. This is not how you want to do it. I don't know if you can see that there, but where I've got that knot cinched down there, that's the single piece of the split ring. It's not doubled up there. And each side of that little split ring there has sort of a little sharp edge on it so you can cut it. So you want to bring it around to the opposite side and make sure that little single piece on the split ring is riding against the hook eye there, because again, that will give you more freedom of movement and you're not going to have to deal with getting frayed on that. So that's just another little tip that'll solve these, or keep you from having some heartache from breaking your line on there. So anyway, guys, just a little info on that. Hope it helps you guys have some more efficiency and catch some more fish, and we'll check in later.